Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into game number 2. This is MNM taking on Bulldog. I personally think this might be a little bit MNM favoured from recent play, but Bulldog as well have been, pretty convincing in a lot of their wins.
Yeah, I feel like whenever Bulldog have won, it's not been crazy 50-50. I feel like the same necessarily can't be said for MNM. I think the only other team that's had more convincing wins, if we're putting it on a scale, is probably Resolve whenever they've, pulled out W's. It's been pretty heavy-handed W's. So, yeah, I'm looking at MNM, though, and I'm saying, you're coming off the back of a not so impressive loss to Enclave. So,
yeah,
I want to see how exactly they're going to match into Bulldog just on the premise of when MNM lost their initial game, they bounced back real damn quick, and they did it in astonishing fashion. And Bulldog, they've not won a game since Viperion. So, and that was 3 games ago. So,
wow,
Bulldog on a 2 losing streak at the moment. And MNM looking to extend that, Bulldog looking to break the dark.
And I think when we also think about the way these teams play, is MNM are a team who like to play very aggressive very early. That is the style we're seeing from them. MNM's wins have been mega quick. They have been, I don't have the official stat, but I think they have the quickest.
They have the highest.
They probably have the quickest games in the league on average, just because of how quick their wins are. They honestly have incredibly accelerated pace, and we at the beginning of the season as well, Resolve are a team who played a little bit more slower and a bit more that choke style, and that's why we're really excited to see those two play versus each other. Anyway, that's not the case this time, and oh no, Van Gogh got Akali.
Yeah, I imagine this is going to be Van Gogh's Akali. I feel like whilst Aragon probably could pilot something like that, it seems a little bit off character for some of his champion pools. So
yeah,
and especially the role he's actually fulfilling in this iteration of the MNM roster. So I'm expecting that to be Van Gogh's. And let's see if Thomas Go will throw down the gauntlet of the LeBlanc. You call for it a lot. And Thomas Go, again, one of our resident LeBlanc players. So
he is.
See if that will end up being the case as Jacob or potentially Thomas Go. We've seen both of these guys play the Ziggs.
Yeah, I mean,
historically.
Also talking about it with the main Resolve roster over in the NLC, where it's a Chu and Chimera have been playing it, and they've been kind of split in between them. We haven't seen it in competitive, but we know it's something they do.
So banned. Yeah.
True, it does keep getting banned. So it is potentially something that Bulldog might have also had practiced. Personally, I'd like to see that Ziggs go bot lane and slap a LeBlanc in the mid, because LeBlanc absolutely destroys Akali in mid lane. And we are just going to see the Lee Sin here, technically flexible between mid, jungle, and top. So we'll see what MNM look to answer out with here. They haven't really got too much to work with from these first 2 Bulldog picks.
Yeah, they don't. They could potentially lock in something like the Renekton as sort of a denial pick, so they don't have to deal with that in lane. Of course, you've got Diana for Gdanica, so that at least says to me, if they want to secure another strong AD topside laner, it would have to be now. Otherwise, they're likely going to suffer some bans out on that side, and that's why we're seeing the Renekton lock in. I think it's totally fine, and the AD pool isn't really pinched. You can see there isn't a single AD carry ban right now. So even if Bulldog decide to lock in an AD carry, there's not a lot that they could really do in terms of bans. But I'm expecting this Ziggs to be a bottom lane Ziggs. And as far as bans will go, maybe something like the Kaisuke is something that Yoppa's been very proficient on. Also probably the Ezreal. So just looking at those 2 sort of picks and saying these are the strongest picks still on the patch in terms of AD carry. We don't have to deal with it. Though they could leave Ziggs up because the Ezreal up, because Ziggs is actually a decent matchup into it. They might look to remove way more lane dominant ADs, but for now, at least there's the Kai'Sa.
I mean, you could also go like old school and whip out something like a Lucian, something that can be really aggressive in lane. Like a Lucian Braum lane would be, really obnoxious to deal with in lane. But for now, looking a little bit more towards the mid lanes as they're looking to ban away things that can handle or at least match what the Akali wants to do with the Twisted Fate band away. I did like this Renekton ban pick up for MNM just because obviously it's a denial of a counter pick, and it can also, it can go topside completely fine. But very quick bans coming through as the LeBlanc is going to get taken away from Thomas Go. Kind of expected that as the second ban just because, now things that can handle the Akali have been heavily trimmed down. And I'm curious to see what Bulldog decide to go for. They could just look to pick up a more standard AD carry and put the Ziggs in the mid lane, but he is going to have a rough time post-hits versus an Akali. So, see what Bulldog decide to go for here. They could just lock in their support and keep their options open, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this Lee Sin and I'm saying, is it really going to end up in the solo lane? It looks like it will end up being in the solo lane with the Rumble lock in now. Rumble, of course, I still think he's fallen off in priority because of the nerfs. But once you get to level 3, he is effectively still the same champion. You will feel, obviously, the cooldown on W throughout, but it's more about you don't get that overheat on that first camp anymore. So your first initial camp takedown is not as quick. Let's see though. Oh, with the Jinx hover, that's pretty interesting because it can match the range of the Ziggs in lane. And yeah, exactly. I would imagine that Thresh gets locked in. You've got the safety net then for that champion. And you don't have to stress out too much about, you know, positioning as much. I would imagine the immediate response is just the Nautilus on the Bulldog side of things. And not only that, it's a denial pick away from Ziggs because Ziggs loves having Thresh as his support, just because again, it's that additional safety net for the mobile champion. But we'll see what Bulldog decide to lock in. I think on the MNM side though, you know, strong top side, bottom side, that's very easy to play towards because you've got all of that set up. So once you sort of start to see those level 6s rolling in particular, I think MNM will start to be a lot more proactive. I think Bulldog have a couple more sort of pre-6 early game tools to work with in terms of the strengths of champions here. But once they do hit level 6, skirmishing into them is definitely going to be very scary just because of the prominence of their ultimates. Rumble Equalizer, Mega Inferno Bomb, the kick, the lockdown of the Nautilus R, the threat of getting multi-man Mega Nard. There is a lot of threat onto the backline here of MNM from the Bulldog draft.
Well, it does look like Thomas Go has kind of been relegated to wave clear weak side bot now versus this Akali. How does this matchup actually go? Because I'm not overly familiar on the Akali versus Lee Sin matchup. I assume it's just wave clear after a certain while.
It's pretty much just wave clear. You're there to farm up, get priority, and also it helps in being able to target the Akali because you can sort of see her with the reveal of the Tempest and then also the Sonic Wave. So it helps getting additional CC put down onto her. It's not true reveal. There is an interaction where you can make it, reveal, but it basically shows a silhouette as opposed to being actually able to target her. But that's normally enough for teams to be able to lay down some CC on her.
The Q reveals her though, right?
You can recast the Q, but it doesn't actually make her targetable. As far as
interesting. I assumed it gave vision. Honestly, I've not seen this matchup. You're learning with me, everyone. I have not seen this mid matchup.
So I remember talking with Soft Resolve's jungler because he's a very big Lee Sin player. And when he said this to me, I was very confused about it. So we loaded up a custom and we went and checked 3 different invisibilities. I think it was Kha'Zix, Qiyana, and Akali. And even if you reveal Akali before the Shroud, you know what? It's really funny because I asked him about this the other day, even prior to what I'm talking about. And I've still managed to forget. But if she's in Shroud, you can't actually reveal her. I think Qiyana's the only champion where if she's cast her invisibility spell and she's sitting in that sort of Shroud, if you E, you will be able to target Qiyana after that. Kha'Zix, I think it's relatively the same deal as well as the Akali, where you might see a silhouette, but you won't actually get the full target unless you hit the Sonic Wave.
Interesting. That's actually really cool. I did not know that.
I love the. I don't know why they changed it though, because I felt like we have a slight pause. If you're wondering why we're still in. Yeah, we have time. Because I recall when they reworked invisibility and camouflage, the whole deal was that invisibility could only be revealed by nothing. That was what it was supposed to be. Exactly. So it shouldn't really be revealed by anything. But certain abilities are coded differently. So, like for example, Qiyana, I think for some reason can't be revealed by pink walls or something silly, but it can be revealed by the Lee Sin. There's loads of weird coding around it. But sorry, you can't see her by walking on top of the carpet, right? That she puts down.
Yeah, because that's the difference between camouflage and camouflage. You can see them if you go within a certain range.
Typically with camouflage, right? There's a certain range to it. So if you walk near them, you'll be able to see them. So when you walk near Twitch, you can see Twitch when he's invis. When you walk near Rengar, you can see Rengar.
But that's camouflage,
Evelyn, the same thing.
Akali's invisible.
Yeah, Akali's invis. Yeah. The Qiyana is kind of a mixture of both because you can't see her when you walk on it. But if you put down pink wards or you use true sight abilities, you can still see her.
Okay. But can't you see invisible champions? You can see invisible champions with pink wards.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So Shaco camouflaged? Because I swear you can see an invisible champion.
No, Shaco is invis.
But can't you see him with a pink ward?
Can't you remember the days of old? He's a boomer, guys. Like literally. If you can't remember,
okay.
If you remember,
me or Shaco?
Both. Shaco used to be countered just by purchasing pink wards.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where even if you got super fed, teams just had to stand on top. It's like Rengar. You just had to stand on top of each other and put a pink ward down. And then his ability to actually pick people off was kind of nullified with 75 gold. So
what's Evelyn?
Camouflage.
She's camouflaged. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought she was. Yeah. Yeah, because you can see it because she has a circle when you play it. I haven't
Right.
played. I don't play invisible champions. I know LeBlanc technically has one, but that's on her passive. I don't like. I can't think of it like Duskblade GP as well. Like that's the only other time I go invisible in this game. I don't play that stuff.
Yeah.
I should know this stuff.
Either way, the mechanics around it are very interesting, and I'm not sure why they were changed or why they interact the way they do now, because I'm pretty sure they worked fine on the change, but certainly things have evolved in League of Legends over the years.
Yeah.
As
We're still going on. Basically,
we're still
there's been a
waiting.
settings problem. One of the players didn't transfer their settings over because if you didn't know, behind the scenes, there are multiple tournament clients and we have to play on different ones because of different patches are on each one. So when we change server, sometimes the players forget to transfer all their stuff over. Why it's not a drop-down menu is beyond me, and it just selects what client, but here we are. But yeah, won't be too long. It looks like the ready. No, don't worry. No ready. So we got more time. How was your weekend?
Yeah, pretty good. Relaxed. Apart from the fact that I couldn't game because I had no internet for most of it, which was not fun. So I kind of just laid around. I studied.
You just laid around.
I laid around, studied, exercised. That was about it. I didn't achieve much more this weekend, which kind of sucks because
I mean, mate, you do a lot.
I wanted to game.
I've known you for a long time. You do a lot of lying around.
You've known me for like 7 months. Come on, man. Or 8 months.
7 months? When did I meet you?
9 months.
I met you
properly NLC4. Properly NLC4.
Yeah. So when was that? That was
2020 winter.
October, November. When was it? I can't remember which month it was.
Yeah,
November. So what month are we on? We're on the 7th. So it was 9 months. 9 months. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, 9 months.
9 months.
What a 9 months it's been, friend.
It's actually 8. It's actually 8. You can't do maths because we're 4 months away from November right now.
True.
Yeah.
True.
This is the person I work with, guys. It's tough. It's tough. Oh!
You're stuck with me, baby.
I am, I like the aesthetic MNM are running with. They've got primarily... Oh, I thought Van Gogh had the Prestige Edition.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Because I think Gdanica's running a gold skin. Everyone's got like a blue and gold.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually... This is my...
Did you miss that?
This is my moment to talk.
Yeah.
I think KDA Akali, the first one, is better
than all out.
Non-prestige as it is than the prestige version. I don't like the prestige version of KDA Akali.
Interesting.
I think she looks a lot cooler on this one. It's the colors. The colors are so much nicer. Like the purples and blacks over just like the yellow and white and stuff, or the gold and white. You get the cool effects. Her shroud looks better, I think, in this one.
I like the shroud in the prestige one. It's like kind of glittery or something.
Yeah. But like this one, she gets the for like the music video where she gets the glow effects on her, which was a really cool thing when they shouted that out in the community because she never had that, and they went, "Why didn't you put that on?" And they went back and redid it, so she gets the glow effects on that skin. I think this one looks really cool. Big fan.
I don't disagree. As lanes kicking off, taking a look at the junglers, Gdanica and Lulas both starting on their bottom side respectively. So expecting clear times to be a little more actually Diana favored just because of the patch. You can see Lulas still struggling a little bit to finish up the blue. On older patches definitely would have finished up by now. But yeah, I'm expecting Gdanica to be maybe 10 to 15. And it's a bit exaggerated, about 5 to 10 seconds ahead on camp clear and tempo.
About 10 minutes behind.
As the lanes in general now, in terms of where I'm expecting action, I think it's mostly going to be from the lane that we're looking at, actually, the bottom lane. I think, especially once we hit about level 4, Jacob and Will the Scout will be a little more willing to take trades. And of course, you can play a range, and especially with some of the hooks and lockdown, as we might see that demonstrated for us right here. Never mind. A lot of burst can come through from the Ziggs, so expect to see some of that as the game progresses.
Just a little sidestep there.
Yeah.
As mid lane, this is kind of the expected outcome. Van Gogh is going to be Akali in lane, which is ultimately not amazing, but versus a Lee Sin, you get contested less. on these kind of on like less Paras and stuff. Normally when Akali kind of plays into lane, you go down pretty significantly in the farm department just because you can't afford to really not, unfortunately. It's how the lane goes. Is Coach just gonna get some poke onto Aragon.
Yeah, some of the irritating parts about laning into Mini-Na still. Even though Renekton typically can find some pretty positive trades, there are pretty large windows in lane for the Mini-Na to abuse. But it's all about having that setup. Once your jungler actually shows up on the top side.
Oh, Jopper. Oh,
great hook!
Will the scouts popping Jopper, and down he goes. The flashes, the ignites the trade, and Jopper able to survive as Clocks has actually done it. Now Lulis is coming in. Clocks trying to save the day. First blood to the fresh. He flays them back, and he runs like... Well, he's dead. I mean, there's not much more to describe on that one. Down he goes. Beautiful hook there. Meanwhile, Thomas Go able to ward hop to safety as Vango just shuriken flits back to safety.
Both going back to their respective sides of the lane as Thomas Go does actually end up taking that Sonic Wave and finds a positive trade onto Vango. As yeah, bottom side shenanigans. He has no energy.
Oh, that's so tragic. He ran out of energy.
Man. If he found one more auto attack, I think he would have had enough to recast it, but it would have been a 1-for-1 at best. As now all it means is flash for flash, and Vango's going to miss out on just about nothing because he's got teleport. But that can be a teleport advantage. Thomas Go shouldn't have to teleport back to lane, so look out for potential side lane plays if Thomas Go has priority or is able to just cheat the wave and teleport to a play being made on either side of the map. As we do slow no MNM to be very proactive in the early game. Could be a very, very strong thing for this Bulldog team to have in their back pocket.
You have to keep our eyes on that because the sixes will be coming through somewhat soon. Obviously, with Vango being able to teleport back to the wave first, does hit level 5 before Thomas Go, but Thomas Go should be hitting his level 5 fairly soon. Across the board, junglers as well, level 4 at the moment, so they're a little bit of a ways before we get that equalizer and Moonfall coming in. As Vango just has got a large wave that's going to push into Thomas Go's tower. Wants to make sure it hits at the right time because Thomas could get it stuck in a really irritating spot for him here if he holds it.
And off the back of this play, I've noticed Clocks has kind of been waiting around in the river for a little while. And sort of, as you can see, this entrance in particular, now checking vision with Gdanica, which has meant that Jopper's gotten a nice little bit of solo XP on the bottom side. I don't think it's going to be shown in an XP lead just yet, but you can see the wave was in a bit of an uncomfortable position for Jacob for quite a while. Now it's actually in an uncomfortable position for Jopper, but support's going to meet in the river.
Can he find the hook? He's got the lantern to bring one forward. There's no flash available. In the lantern they go. Will the scout? He's hunted down, and Gdanica will find the kill.
Gdanica takes the kill credit, and that should just be the dragon too. You can see Lulis at the moment is up on the top side, stealing away jungle camps. Just because of how Gdanica pathed initially from bottom to top. He only cleared his bottom side camps before he came down here. So Lulis taking full advantage of that. Still has his Krugs to retreat back to after as well. So expect a advanced level. Oh, he's level 6 now. Wow. So he's got the equalizer available already. So he's a full level up on Gdanica, all things considered, as Aragon. Playing with fire.
I don't know why I made such a reaction. I knew he had another slice, but I just saw that Narvar filling up, and I was like, oh, that could be one.
I think it's the impending threat of Lulis weighing around as well on the side.
Yes.
With level 6. So don't worry. I understand your
you have to be careful, pain. Right? Yeah, you have to be careful, because, you know, that little hamster could have some new crocodile boots.
Yep. And speaking of careful, Thomas Go, as Clocks did pay a visit very briefly to the mid lane, decided that he had had enough of spectator mid lane, so it's going to return back to the bottom side.
I guess actually got a CS lead over Thomas Go now.
Yeah.
Even with that gank, because was it a replay of the little trade? I think the replay guy is just
he's trolling you.
Show me how close. I mean, it was close, right? It was a lot of damage from Aragon, and if Coach had, you know, got that Gnar in time,
maybe
he honestly could have done some real damage with Lulis about.
Yeah, I think actually if he R'd, it would have been a little bit quicker. So obviously the W has a cast time. The R does technically too, but it's a lot more instantaneous.
Yeah. It's a shorter cast time.
Yeah, exactly. So take a look at the CS numbers. All in all, mostly a lead across the board for MNM with the exception of the jungle role where Gdanica finds himself a camp down. But other than that, they are leading at the moment. Okay, huge highlight in the gold. Sort of emphasizes that point too. Just about everybody equal at the moment in terms of that, with the exception, of course, that mid lane and the bottom side. And I've got to say, it's actually a surprisingly slow game for an MNM.
Yeah, it feels, you know, we had a bit of action earlier, but it's been relatively calm and, you know, not what I expected out of MNM. Maybe a little shaken by that loss.
Yeah, maybe.
To Enclave.
Maybe. It's always hard to tell. Things like that. Oh, well, sometimes it's very clear. I think it's more dependent on the game than League of Legends is a pretty hard game to tell when it comes to confidence things, as Coat is being really aggressive in this mid.
That's confidence. Honestly,
yeah,
I'm going to put it out there. That's confidence. And Aragon, he's feeling confident with Gdanica in the back. The flash comes out from Coates. He's about to gnar out as Lulis looks for the harpoon, dodges away. Can't harpoon the croc. And that is flash for ult burnt as Vango will find himself kick. Does have the Shuriken flip and he's feeling it. Goes in with a perfect execution, jumps away, the Moonfall lands, and Vango may be able to finish up a little bit more here onto Thomas Go, waiting for him. As there's the flash and there's the finish up. Gdanica loses his life and Vango on the wrong side of the map. Blast Cones over the wall to safety, but Coates will be hunting him down. And it looks like Vango may just be getting hunted as the teleport's actually getting popped and Jacob being chased down. Aragon got the home speed. The flash is going to hunt him down as he's locked and the super mega death rocket sends it home. Vango almost taking out Thomas, but wasn't able to find that final little bit of damage.
Yeah, no, a little bit of miscoordination on the top side for MNM and a great response also from Bulldog. It was MNM that wanted to make that play happen initially, obviously Vango weighing in the bush. They opted into the 2v2. I think Aragon was zoned off by Coat on the top side by making a rotation in, so great job from the Bulldog top laner. And the fight being a little bit split and Thomas Go having a little more access to mobility in terms of target did make his way back onto Gdanica, and then the response actually from Aragon pretty swift and real nice. I don't think he's missed too much in terms of waves either on the top side from that teleport, and he funnels in a kill to his AD carry. As there, yeah, to see the big wave crashing, so I believe his wave was delivered underneath the Bulldog side of the lane, and he's returned back to a nice bit of XP and gold here.
Nice stuff there. Overall, 10 minutes into the game, we got a gold lead starting to accrue for the side of MNM, even with Vango getting caught out. Vango's still up in this lane versus Thomas Go, and you know, that's pretty good. This is what they really want. You've got obviously a lead getting picked up here on to the bot lane. It might even get bigger as he cancels the satchel charge. And Gdanica will find the kill, and he'll get a lantern towards that dragon spawning in 20 seconds time.
Yeah, and goal lead grows. I was going to say Bulldog, at the very least, they do have the means inside of the Rift Herald to close that gap. And potentially even, you know, make it their own, extend it in their favor. But with that kill going over, solidifies almost a 1,000 goal lead. And now MNM got the Death Squad roaming in the river. Trying to zone, but oh wow. Oh no, it's Jacob's TP. Okay, for some reason. I thought it was Coates' TP.
Coates is teleported top lane.
Yeah, he's actually TP top. So that's teleport. Well, it's equal terms now. But Bulldog walk into the river, and it seems like with the way the tempo fell, MNM decided to retreat back into their own jungle and lanes.
Yeah, interesting. I think Jacob's teleport, you know, made it a 4v4, but they just kind of weren't really feeling, even though, you know, they did technically, they didn't have an ult advantage actually. Gdanica didn't have Moonfall, so I guess,
yeah,
an understandable one, as the rocket was there to try and steal the dragon.
Ah, yeah. All right, good eyes.
It's all right. See, we got each other here. As Vango and Thomas going for a fight. Perfect execution wasn't burnt. That was the Shuriken flip.
Still very interesting to see Lee Sin so prominent in the meta, even though he's been hit now with 2 nerfs back to back. The lane Lee Sin more specifically than jungle, which we've surprisingly seen a little more jungle Lee Sin in the higher region. Oh, not enough.
Not enough. Although it's one good wave from getting knocked over now.
Yeah, because the threshold on the first satchel, I believe, is about 22%. I think it's a really odd number. If you can hover over it, I think.
25%.
Oh, it's 25. Wow.
Wait, was that, sorry, first? I can't tell.
That's the statue. Yeah, it said 25. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm not an idiot.
Well,
Can't speak, can't read, apparently. Thomas and Vango just having a little bit of a light trade. If Vango presses that, he dies. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Getting jumped on though. Well, the scout lands the hook. They land the kick, and they can see him. He jumps away. Thomas chases after him. The knock-up is there. The Ignite is ticking, and Vango able to jump away to safety. The Moonfall lands onto 2 members. The Gad doing some real damage. His kick's not going to hit. And Gad able to save his mid laner.
Yeah. So I was just doing the mental maths there for a second. Obviously, towers have 1k HP, so or 5k HP, so it would have needed that tower to be at that 1000 threshold.
How much is it on? 300.
300 HP away.
Wonder if he can get to this tower while the plates are still on.
Well, no one's down here to contest him, and Lulus is even coming to Shadow, so it's
Lulus, don't stand near him. Let him get the gold. Walk away, Lulus.
Lulus.
There we go. Good.
There you go. Right.
There we go. I think he didn't get local gold.
No, he didn't get any of that.
There we go.
So big injection into Jacob. Even though he's fallen so far behind, it wouldn't surprise me to see him be equal or up. Yeah, like there you go.
0-3 though, so
yeah.
0-3. 200 gold down to Joppa.
But I will counterpoint that and say that at the end of the day, this meta is very, very iron spike heavy. And the costs of the mage items were actually reduced. So if he didn't have tier 2 boots, he should have his first item completed.
There's the Ludens.
Yeah.
And this is where the wave clear spikes and it becomes impossible to push into a Ziggs. He's just going to walk into the mid lane. Thomas, you've done your job here. It's now Jacob's turn. And Thomas is going to be catching waves in the bottom side of the map now.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Ziggs in the mid lane. On a lot of the regular waves, the non-cannons, it should be Bulldog with the priority. At the very least, they can always clear the waves at safety with the range. And now you expect sort of a 1-3-1 to start to take place. And Bulldog should always be the first ones to the side lanes. I mean, it's going to depend on where the resources realistically want to be put, right? And where the next objective is spawning. So, Dragon spawning in 150. MNM, they did try to put a lot of priority on that second one, and it makes me wonder whether they'll do it for the third. But Herald, the second one in particular on this patch, a lot more valuable because the second tier towers on the side lanes, they're worth so much gold on this patch. So if you're able to, take down that first tier 1 and maybe get a second charge off and take down that second tier, a lot of value there. This is a long lane for Vango to be in, so I think rightfully so using the perfect execution as a bit of a gap closer.
Hello. Been found out. Good dodge there by Vango. That was a little bit too overeager by him, but now that perfect execution's down, Thomas has got his Dragon's Rage available, so, trading power definitely in his favor. And Vango going to have to play a little bit more respectful. Hasn't finished up his item as well. Just got the Leeching Lair. So there's a bit of sustain to him, but not quite as much as if it were the Rift Maker.
Yeah, and curious, they actually slowed down his build towards that Rift Maker. He's got that Fiendish Codex in his inventory.
He actually got that
maybe
quite a while ago, actually.
Oh, very interesting. I wonder if there's any particular reason for it.
Take CDR.
Well, yeah, of course, but like maybe there's some kind of reason why the CDR is better. But I mean, like I said earlier, the IM spikes in this mouse are so important.
Yes.
Rift Makers, in particular, a very, very powerful spike for Akali. As a theme of chains picked up by Cope. Very curious to see who he's gonna tag with the with the mark. It's definitely interesting because it's pretty much just flat health. In terms of stats and CDR, which now obviously does both of those things. However, AD feels kind of nice to have, so we'll see where his build divulges to next. But in particular, whether he's bound Aragon, because he's going to be side laning with him for a while, so having that extra CC might actually turn 1v1s in his favor on the side lane. That's a pretty aggressive teleport from Aragon.
I was wondering why he teleported into the middle there. Could have been pretty dangerous for him, but Bulldog deciding not to jump in.
Yeah, it felt more to defend the dragon play, but you can see Lulus has the Herald, and because of the teleport down, they've actually given up position on this top side tier 2. And like I said, tier 2s give so much gold now on this patch. It's 550, I think, in total for solo local, but...
Oh, nice little hook, actually. The Dominus is going to get popped, and Lantern is there. Can they take out the Herald in time before the charge comes down? Yes, they can. Wasted by Lulus, and MNM get the dragon and get out scot-free as Gadanica comes in. He's got the Moonfall. Jacob flashes away, and the Satchel will send him packing.
Yeah, good response from Jacob to not drop there. As The Herald on the top side, a bit opportunistic. You can understand the thought process, certainly. Not a flawed one at all, but MNM were just able to respond in time. Nothing more to say about it, as I imagine we're now just gonna sort of revert back to a bit of a lull, bit of a breather. Unless these teams just decide to run into each other head first, which honestly would be very characteristic of MNM.
I mean, it would, but it's not characteristic of this game. They've actually been very relaxed this game. Now, they have got the Cloud Soul, so they'll be able to moonfall a little bit more regularly from Gardonica. So, you know, you can kind of do that play onto Jacob more. And with the flash down, it's a good time to punish. Almost back off as well for Gardonica, so they might just see if they can jump in on Jacob once again.
Yeah, potentially. But honestly, I would love to see Bulldog try and abuse Vango on the side lane here. I think even though now he's got the Rift Maker, and he's going to be a little harder to take down, I feel like he's definitely been in the most compromising position so far in this game. And trying to capitalize on that could certainly lead to greater leads on the map in general in this sort of game state, where even though they are, you know, technically ahead, 800, 900 gold, it's kind of a whatever lead. It's not really one that's super tangible. You take a look at the items, it's like, okay, everyone's at mythics or first items for the most part. And it's not really meaning much, though. Coat, surprisingly, has his Stride Breaker entirely over Aragon there.
Stride Breaker and chains.
Yeah.
It's like
a lot of things to hold people down, actually.
Bulldog are actually just committing to this mid tower, but they use the lantern, they use the flay, the moonfall can get popped onto flay, into the rocket. It's a whitewash. MNM picking up 2 already, shut down, picked up on to Jopper, and Coates, he's going to get taken out by 1 more rocket, a triple kill to Jopper on the Jinx. And MNM, there's that level 6. Couple of levels late, but they got there.
Yeah, and this is the thing, against a team like MNM, you can't just sit on your hands for, you know, a crazy extended period of time, because they will look for plays like this. They get restless. They want to be aggressive. And that play definitely...
On the top Baron.
Yeah, I mean, typically, I usually say AD carries need to be 2 items for these early Barons to occur, but you just took down 3 members of the enemy team at 20 minutes. Coincidence of timing is going to give them this opportunity to steal the Baron away. Well, I say steal the Baron away. Secure it on spawn.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a Kraken Slayer Jinx. It will go down pretty quick. Let's have a look at the play again, because it's just a beautiful moonfall into 3 people.
Yeah, the Lantern brings in Gardonica, and on the bottom side, Lulus basically surgically removed by Vango. As Thomasco doesn't actually opt to try and 1-for-1 onto the Akali. I think just more interested in going for the retreat, potentially not willing to overcommit and additionally give over his own life. And now we spoke about the lead not being so tangible or big. Only moments before that play occurred, and now there's about a 2,500 gold lead. With this Baron buff in pocket, you know, you'd imagine the next dragon goes over, and I think more importantly, there's a lot of standing gold on the map for MNM during these towers, but the Ziggs makes it so impressive. Even with the Baron buff this early on, he's got the wave clear available, as you can see. If the Nautilus kind of just stands there, there's not a whole bunch they can do about it. They don't necessarily want to be engaged on. And in general, the siege isn't actually that great for them. Their composition thrives a lot more in skirmishes and team fights. So Bulldog, despite this early Baron going down, they might not lose too much. It's at worst, I feel like, going to be these side lane towers, the tier 1s. I think with 1.5 minutes left, that's about as bad as it could get. But we'll see, because again, MNM, they love to be aggressive. If they see people standing in front of them, that's what they'll look to do. As
oh my lord,
Aragon's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the chains on him, so the CC not going to be cleansed up, and you can see how long it lasts as he locks down Coates, and Coates will just continue the assault, the slow, the stun, the slow. Aragon able to slice over the wall. But wow, that's the power of the chains.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the thing, right? I'm pretty sure if we could maybe hover over Aragon for a second, he's also got tenacity roots. He's got mercs, and the CC's lasting that long. Oh, he's actually gone for Lackery. Okay, interesting choice. But yeah, even with the Merc Shred, you can see how long that CC is lasting. 30% tenacity, but it still feels like a hell of a lot longer.
What is the reduction in chains?
I'm curious.
Over the item. Over the item, we need to see. Might have to hold, because they might be looking for an actual fight.
Might go for a dive, or Bulldog might go.
Goes between the goals, but Gad, Jacob? Oh, hello, Jopper able to jump away, but the Lantern can bail him out. Flashes, and he's caught.
Oh, no, it won't.
They did not land that in the right way. Aragorn coming in as well, looking to see if he can lock down Lulus, but Lulus going to flash the flay, even though it was a little early.
Yeah.
And Jopper just playing a little bit too over-eager. Can they take this tower out in time? They got the demolish, and that's teleport wasted as the Moonfall lands, but will the Scouts able to get away? And now they might look for a quick turnaround.
Sure.
Vango just Baron sieging in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's a completely different game to the rest of the map. In the bottom lane right now, they do get that tower. I don't know if Vango got the local gold. I didn't see it pop up unless I was just paying attention to a different part of the screen.
Oh,
yeah,
hello, Vango
knows.
trying to find the assassination. He's got that perfect execution. Misses it! And Coates will take him down.
Yeah, I think Vango knew he was in a bit of an interesting position. I asked for Bulldog to do this before they lost the Baron as well. Try and pick on Vango on the side lane. It is certainly a nice snap position moment from Vango to try and get that 1-for-1, but Thomas Go has the flash, so he's able to flash away from the ultimate. Won't get executed. Pick up Vango on the side lane. Doesn't really cost them more than the Lee Sin's flash, so can't be too upset about that one. As, yeah, I mean, Jopper a little bit too far forward. You understand why he's doing it, though. MNM were eyeing up a dive, but Lulus had his number in the flank. As speaking of people having numbers, see, like Aragorn now is
he's got a Dominus, but the chains are on, and he can slice, he can heal, he can dice, but I think he's gonna be dead. The slam comes in, and Gad may look to try and find a turnaround. Maybe not though. Not quite feeling it as his crocodile is hunted.
And here's the thing, MNM, they've been sitting in this kind of 1-3-1 formation for quite a while, and it's been pretty hard for them to break the side lanes. The Lee Sin and Na doing an excellent job at holding up the Akali and the Renekton, as if Vango walks up in this lane, he will certainly lose his life. I don't think there's any ifs or buts or maybes about it. Everybody's in the area. And I think gets the read on the play as, oh wow, okay.
Oh, Chadanuka a little bit here, but he's locked up. He's gonna get cut. Goes golden for the moment. Vango comes in as well. The Super Mega Death Rockets in. They get the Moonfall off and took out the members, and that's doesn't execute. That's
Wow.
2 executes. Thomas Go goes down.
Three.
Double kill for Vango. And Bulldog, I thought they had the numbers advantage, but they just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Drop of the Hat stuff from Vango and Gdanika really is effectively a 2v3 or almost, and pretty much win out on it. So full credit to them showing us why Akali is such a highly prioritized pick, and the same thing for the Diana.
Oh, hello, Clocks.
Yeah,
I've been looking at the hook. Jacob, you have nowhere to go. In they go. Jacob goes golden, but the hook, the zap, and Jopper will bop Jacob. Easy pickings there for MNM, and they can take this tier 2. Like you said, they're worth a bit more gold. There it is.
See that? Everyone got 200 gold. 198, I think, was the finalized number. As, equalizer to stop the base here. Klotz has the Lantern for Vango, though, so he should be fine. There's a teleport available on Thomas Go if they want to pull the trigger, but it doesn't seem like they want to go any further. So just a brief delay. I don't think he'll really buy Bulldog much, but it didn't really cost them anything either. As a gold highlight on our screens. Yet again, it's actually a pretty sizable gold lead for MNM. I hadn't realized it ballooned out so much over the last sort of 4 minutes or so, but we're sitting at about 5,500-ish gold lead. So
yeah, you got 3 items on the Jinx now, 2 Magi Soul Stealers as well.
yeah, these guys always picking up the Magi's when they can.
They like to read.
Yeah, they do.
What's your favorite book?
Probably be the book series I read earlier this year.
I think I asked you this. I think you talked about this at least.
Yeah, I said it was pretty. I'm not really much of like book reading, right? I like reading, but I'm not much a book reader. But that book series is really damn cool. Still highly recommend, by the way. You should pick it up, Jake. So I know you like fantasy stuff, and that's exactly what it was. Anyway, speaking of fantasies, Gdanika's looking for that big Moonfall one.
Dreaming of it. A Gad comes in. It's only 2 members, but that is obliteration from MNM, and the double teleports come in. The rocket is going to land as Thomas Go gets a good kick off, but a great hook into the back, and Jopper completely untouched. He's excited. He's got the triple kill. Lulus is going low.
What?
Can he find the quadra kill? I don't think he's going to be able to. The zap is a little bit too late to come in for the shuriken flip, and Vango steals the quad. as Jacob's actually outputting a lot of damage. Vango might be losing a couple of stacks here, able to jump away, lands into safety. Aragon's on the wrong side of the tower, and Jacob's able to take him down. Joppa will take the tower in the meanwhile, and Dragon Soul has spawned onto the rift as the flash into the bomb doesn't hit Vango on the tail end of that one. Let's have a look at the replay where the Dragon's secured.
Yeah, and we just said it. Danica, Moonfall just absolutely removed the frontliners of Bulldog. His teleport very deep from Thomas Go, but he just wasn't expecting his frontliners to die so quickly. But the kick and all of the AoE damage of Rumble plus Jacob sort of slow cooking a lot of these frontline members here of MNM. And Lulis almost part of a multi-kill of Joppers, as he was the one receiving all of those kills. As total damage actually pretty evenly spread across the board for MNM. Much like the last game where we saw their current table rivals in Resolve. Well spread damage there, and on the other side, I feel like Coates' damage is probably a little inflated. Just because you're laning into the Renekton, there's a lot of sustain on his side as well. But Jacob almost 15k. Very, very good there.
It does just feel like if MNM can find one last good fight, I think this game might just be over. Joppa now 4 items in, 15 stacks onto Vango's Medjai's, and Gad, unfortunately for him, he's only got 5 now. We are looking at that Baron being up, and honestly, at this point, MNM can probably burst it very, very quickly. They have to be careful of the rocket, not the rocket, the Mega Inferno. Super Mega Death Rocket and Mega Inferno Bomb is a tongue twister.
That it is. That's all they really have to worry about. I think at the moment, the only way MNM could crazily for
Coates. I mean, you got the Blast Cone, but you're going to get popped up. You're going to get Moonfalled. What? You might have thought you were Steve Owen, but you ain't no Crocodile Hunter. Gadanica shuts him down.
What? Also, it's Owen, just so we're clear.
Oh, what did I call him?
Owen.
I think that was just me
on that man's name.
Honestly, he was my childhood hero. I think that was just me tripping over my tongue, as I normally do.
I cried in that last night.
My mum woke me up and came into my room and told me, and I was super upset. Yeah. She also told me when Richard Hammond had that really bad car crash, because I was also a big fan of him. Anyway, 2-point breaking out. Vango lands the Shuriken flip onto Will the Scout. Got a follow up, got that perfect execution, and the Shroud is down. The bombs are going to connect, and Vango's on a rampage with the 5-point strike. The Baron is secured. Tower will fall to Aragon in the bot lane as well. And MNM, they are taking everything and more right now, as Bulldog just struggling to answer, as the siege will begin in the mid lane and the bot lane.
Starting to fall apart for Bulldog here. They did a really good job in the mid game, in my opinion, of holding off MNM, holding off the side laners. MNM didn't pick up a tower until like 20 minutes into the game or something. Oh my
Holy moly, Joppa.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so much damage.
He has Zonyas as well. He has some armor.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but he has some.
AD carry is balanced, I promise. I'll always be ADs, but yeah, it seems MNM on the cusp of doing the double over Bulldog. It certainly isn't as clean as their first round robin matchup, that's for sure, but
10k gold lead and 11 kills up.
I mean,
sorry, 9 kills up.
MNM almost perfect caped Bulldog in their first matchup. It was it was worse than it. It was much worse than this. It was little to nothing Bulldog actually achieved in their first game against them. As this time around, like I said, a much more valiant effort. I feel like leaving the Ziggs on the island as much as they did to allow MNM to punish him in the early game was not so great, but they tried to funnel the resources into him post that. And he certainly dealt a lot of damage, but team fights haven't been in their favor. I think he's about to have a lot of damage dealt to him as the rocket goes through. The equalizer is there. Good kick out by Thomas Go, but the flash over the wall comes in, and that is the gnaw back. Doesn't quite find the stun, but he gets the wallop off as well. Aragon coming in. Vango unstoppable. He is running amok underneath the tower as he's taken out by the tower. Coat's doing a lot of damage, but Joppa is alive. This Jinx is immortal as he finds himself the shot. The Kraken Slayer pop will secure the ace for MNM, and that will be the game. That's going to be the game. It took a little bit longer than their first time meeting in summer. but they still end up with the same result all the same. MNM take what eventually feels like a pretty decisive win, but you have to give credit to Bulldog for holding on for so long. On those side lanes, Thomas Go and Coat were really giving it to Vango and Gdanica on the sides. They were certainly keeping them at bay.
Yes, they were. Definitely a slower paced game from what I was expecting, just from how we've seen MNM play. But that was, it was still a pretty convincing win. There were moments where I was a little worried where some plays hadn't gone right, but turns out Diana is kind of broken at the moment. Everyone,
who would have guessed?
Champion, 100% win rate on this patch right now in our league. It's strong. It's very, very strong. Anyway, it's time for us to throw to a break. We will have a conversation about that game and how busted Diana is after that. We'll see you in a moment.
All I had in my mind